2,112,017 by Steve Moran. Marco Misk 26,411 views. Tweet on February 7, 2017. Police on the Isle of Wight were flummoxed to find some 60 sheep grazing in an open meadow. It was unclear where they came from and who owned them. Naturally, this led to the police using Twitter to ask if anyone in the area lost the flock. The next day, things went from bad to worse. The sheep were gone. Please keep your eyes open, officials tweeted. Source 1. Source 2. Photo. The statue sold for $2,000 to an unidentified bidder. In an homage to the Pokemon Go craze that erupted in July 2016, someone placed a giant Pikachu statue in the Lower Garden district of New Orleans atop a dilapidated fountain. The 5-foot-tall Pikachu, made of fiberglass but painted to look like brass, instantly became a tourist attraction with photos shared across the world. Then, 2 weeks later, it mysteriously disappeared and in its place was a barcode. When scanned on a smartphone, it took users to a website which explained "Overwhelmed and touched doesn't begin to describe what the response has meant to us. Pokemonument was never conceived to be a permanent installation. We would like to use that positive momentum to bring about a larger, more permanent change for our community. We have donated Pokemonument to the Coliseum Square Association to be auctioned off to help fund the restoration of the fountains in the park." Source 1. Source 2. They really got some balls. Sure, it gets cold in NYDA, Siberia, but no one expected to see thousands of perfectly formed snowballs on the beach, ranging from a few inches to 3 feet. The snowballs covered 11 miles of coastline in November 2016. They were created by a natural, albeit very rare, phenomena when wind, ice, and water combine in a perfect storm to make snowballs. Source 1. Source 2. Speaking of Siberia, Russia's authoritarian leader got a welcome banner in an unlikely place. In October 2016, 2 figures were seen on the Manhattan Bridge unfurling a 20 by 40-foot banner with the image of Vladimir Putin and the words "Peacemaker" underneath. No one took credit for the stunt, and many said they were confused what the message was supposed to mean. Police had it quickly removed, and there were no arrests. Source photo. No other areas reported worm clumping. This is a natural phenomenon that's also just plain gross. After a flood in Eisenhower State Park in Denison, Texas, rangers were surprised to find clumps of long pink worms in the middle of the road, right between the yellow lines. "Even our biologist doesn't know why they're spaced so well and in the line," said Park Superintendent Ben Herman. Source. Portland got a little weirder, thanks to one anonymous woman who claims responsibility for hundreds of dildos which began appearing tangled in power lines in October 2015. The woman, a 20-something recent graduate, said she did it because dick tossing is an exercise in happiness. Source 1. Source 2. In May 2014, New Yorkers who think they've seen everything saw something new: a Mason Hamlin grand piano half-submerged on the Manhattan side of the East River. These are very expensive pianos and are too heavy to have floated to the spot, experts say. After being exposed to the elements for several weeks, the beautiful instrument eventually disintegrated. Source. In the tiny town of Malmö, Sweden, in the neighborhood of Målvansjön, someone opened up diminutive businesses. In the basement windows of a couple of shops, a group of artists created 2 mini storefronts, seemingly aimed at mice. The group called itself Anonymous MMX and said that they created the storefronts using found objects. "It's just too darn charming to imagine a world where mice live parallel to ours but just slightly out of sight," they said via email. Source 1. Source 2. You might also like best this month: 8,472 views. 7 Crazy Amelia Earhart disappearance theories best ever. 496,276 views. 12 Amazing Real People Who Look Like Cartoons best ever. 670,104 views. 12 Hilarious Summer Pictures NSFW 18 best ever. 545,474 views. 12 Most Inappropriate Disney Pictures NSFW 18 best ever. 386,860 views. 9 Weird Facts About Marijuana best ever. 332,254 views. 8 Terrifying Stories of Cannibalism NSFW 18 best ever. 1,574,761 views. 10 Most Shocking Cases of Anorexia ODDES new website. ODDES new website. 126,727. 14 9,900.